Today we are going to have an introduction of the play The Pillars of Society, written by the famous Norwegian playwright John Henrik Ibsen. Compared to other masterpieces of Ibsen, like A Doll's House, Ghosts, The Wild Duck, etc., The Pillars of Society is considered an inferior work. It was, however, the drama in which Ibsen first committed himself to the realistic form and is therefore crucial to an understanding and appreciation of Ibsen's theatre. The Pillars of Society contains in embryo most of the major subjects, themes and character types that were to dominate Ibsen's plays over the succeeding dozen years. Three concerns in The Pillars of Society became central to his realistic dramas: the nature and powers of society, the relationship between exceptional persons and that society, and the manner in which suppressed corruption in the past inevitably surfaces to destroy present success. 19th century middle class Norwegian society was to Ibsen hypocritical, materialistic, stifling, and essentially corrupt. The alliance between narrow religious moralism and selfish business interests led to a society that corrupted or stifled all evidence of creativity or imagination. The exceptional individual has one of two choices: involvement or rejection. If the exceptional person accepts the community's mores and practices, the person will inevitably be corrupted. If the person rejects them, social ostracism and condemnation are the necessary consequences. Consul Bernick accepted the values and exploited them in his drive for money, power, and respectability. For the nonconformist, social isolation is the only option if the individual is strong enough to make the break. Lona Hessel has the requisite determination and imparts enough of it to Johan Tennyson to enable them both to flee the country. However, the price of such a divorce from their roots is great, and the impulse to return and find some sort of compromise with all its dangers of contamination is very strong. In addition to presenting the pervasive atmosphere of inhibition and hypocrisy, Ibsen usually structures his realistic society plays on specific examples of concealed corruption. Bernick has based his public images, his business success, and his marriage on a lie. In fact, Karsten Bernick is the dominant businessman in a small coastal town in Norway with interest in shipping and shipbuilding in a long established family farm. Now he is planning his most ambitious project yet, backing a railway which will connect the town to the main line and open a fertile valley which he has been secretly buying up. Suddenly his past explodes on him. Johan Tennyson, his wife's younger brother, comes back from America to the town he ran away from 15 years ago. At the time, it was thought he had run off with money from the Bernick family business and with the urge to avoid scandal because he was having an affair with an actress. But none of this was true. He left town to take the blame for Bernick, who was the one who had actually been having the affair and was nearly caught with the actress. There was no money to take since at the time the Bernick firm had been almost bankrupt. With Tennyson comes his half-sister Lona, who once loved and was loved by Bernick. He rejected her and married his current wife for money so that he could rebuild the family business. In the years since Tennyson left, the town has built ever greater rumors of his wickedness, helped by Bernick's studious refusal to give any indication of the truth. This mixture only needs a spark to explode, and it gets one when Tennyson falls in love with Dinah Dorf, a young girl who is the daughter of the actress involved in the scandal of 15 years ago, and who now lives as a charity case in the Bernick household. He demands that Bernick tell the girl the truth. Bernick refuses. Tennyson says he will go back to the US to clear up his affairs and then come back to town to marry Dinah. Bernick sees his chance to get out of his mess. His yard is repairing an American ship, the Indian Girl, which is dangerously unseaworthy. He orders his yard foreman to finish the work by the next day, even if it means sending their ship and his crew to certain death, because he wants Tennyson to die on board. That way he will be free of any danger in the future. Things do not work out like that. Tennyson runs off with Dinah on board another ship which is safe, leaving word that he will be back. And Bernick's young son stows away on the Indian Girl, seemingly heading for certain death. Bernick discovers that his plot has gone disastrously wrong. On the night, the people of the town have lined up to honor him for his contribution to the city. It is all set up for a tragic conclusion, but suddenly Ibsen pulls back from the brink. The yard foreman gets an attack of conscience and rows out to stop the Indian Girl from heading to sea and death. Bernick's son is brought back safely by his mother, and Bernick addresses the community, tells them most of the truth, and gets away with it. His wife greets the news that he only married her for money as a sign there is now hope for their marriage. Thank you.